Tallboy. We both got to get a chance on it. It's 120 rear, 130 front. They call it the downhiller's cross-country bike. What do you think?
And it is, I'd say it's the definition of a trail bike.
Yeah.
You know, it's got that cross-country feel while you're riding and while you're climbing, but you can send it.
I know what they mean when they say confidence inspiring. There's a couple times where there's like roots and rocks and stuff, and I would just like jump and land in it, and it would just soak it up, no problem. So there's definitely some good points to this bike. If you want to get rowdy downhill, this is definitely the one for it. What were some drawbacks?
The biggest thing that I noticed was that it does, it's less of the cross-country position. It's more of that, upright, higher head tube, shorter stem, and which really gets you ready for descending. But it doesn't quite have that aggressive feel that you want when it's flat or open.
Yeah.
What I want.
Exactly. When I was trying to chase Kyle on his blur, I was definitely left wanting. And it felt on some, like, it both climbed the really steep, chunky stuff really well, but also felt a little floppy. But that's just because it was so upright.
Right. But yeah, that being said, it was really interesting. Like, the steeper the climbing got, the better it felt. Yep. And
right.
So, it's still able to hold its own through everything. There's no question about that. It can do it all. It's just, I think it's a matter of, what your goal in riding is.
Yeah. So I think if your goal is to have a good time, no matter what the terrain, and be able to still pin it on like most surfaces and get rowdy on the downhills.
And especially pin it on those rowdy surfaces.
Yeah. This is definitely the bike for you.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right, now we have
the Blur.
The Blur.
The Blur TR.
Right. So the difference between the regular Blur and the Blur TR. Yeah, go ahead.
The TR comes with the reverb dropper, and it's got a 110-34 Fox fork instead of the 132. So they're both just that 10 mil smaller than the Tallboy. Not a big difference, but definitely a noticeable difference.
And so, full disclosure, this is Kyle's personal bike.
Hi.
It was really cool to be able to jump on the two styles of bike back and forth. How they've handled things both the same and differently. With the dropper, you could still get plenty rowdy on it. And for my personal taste, I did like a lower front end to like be nimble through some of the stuff. Cool thing about this bike too that I appreciated was it has a remote lockout that locks out both the rear and the front with the grip shift. And when I attacked a climb, I locked them both out, and it was almost like riding a cross bike.
Right there in your hand, you don't have to reach down and play with levers or anything. The drawback being that, say on the Tallboy, you have your 3 different modes. You have your full open, you have your pro pedal, and you're locked out. This one, it's on or off. There's no in between. But I ride it open pretty much all the time, and just with that cross country feel, it's really all I need. I'll lock it out on roads, Jeep roads, attacking climbs, but in general, I leave it open.
So, did your mind get changed after riding the Tallboy?
I'm still glad that I have the Blur. The Tallboy is 100% a super fun bike, and I would love to ride one. As far as my bike and my all-the-time bike and my preference for that cross-country feel, this is what I'm going to have more fun on all the time.
Yeah, I found the Tallboy to be a blast, and if I was riding more alone or with maybe people who didn't want to race as much, the Tallboy would be totally adequate and it'd put a smile on my face a lot of the time. I think it would struggle if I wanted to ride from home to the trails, whereas on the Blur, that thing, you could just ride it all day, get to the trails, and have just as much fun. That's Ben and Kyle coming at you. See you next time for
Bike Reviews with Ben and Kyle.
For Ben and Kyle. Cheers! Freeze frame. Cool.